Hi, this is Sandy, and I'm here for Project Share Thursday, hosted by Mary Ellen at Mary Ellen 236. And we can post any project that we're working on or that we finished. And so this was a project that I've been working on and finally finished. And I'll start back at the beginning. I watched a live stream with scrapbook.com where they introduced the cardstock that they've started carrying. And so they've got their own cardstock now. And they had a flash deal on these A2 size packets. And so I ended up getting 2 sets because I had the idea of a project while they were doing the introduction of the different cardstock. And I'll show those to you when I show you the tags. They mentioned using, like a tag die or something like that. And then you can cut yourself out a little sample. And then later, you can use that to match the cardstock to different projects. And so I thought that was a really good idea. So that's what I ended up doing. I found this little tag die because it didn't need to be huge for me to get a sample of that color. So I went through each of them. And there are 5 different, I don't want to say types of cardstock, but I guess that's what you would say. So there's the heavyweight. There's what they call the premium canvas. The glimmer, premium glimmer, the premium Swiss dot, and then this is the premium classic. And I'll show you when I show you the tags some of the differences between each of those. These are A2 size, and that was all they had on the flash sale. It was a really, really, really good price for this deal, and so that's why I did it. You can buy these in a 12 by 12, but not as a package. You buy each 12 by 12 sheet individually. So I wasn't ready to do that. I thought this way, if I get my little ring of tags put together, then if I'm working on a project, say for instance, this is a scrap on my table, I've got all these different colors and I want to back it onto a piece of cardstock, then I can go through my tags and I can say, I kind of like, well, the Valentine would probably work. And I like the berry. I think it would go pretty well. Or I could look through some of the greens. I could go, well, really, I think you could use either one of those greens on there. The one thing that I was a little disappointed in is that the colors, each piece of cardstock here is a different color, which is good and bad. On my ring, I didn't want to have to put premium classic cardstock on each one of my little tags. So I took this card out of the front, ran it through my Xyron, which puts a sticky on the back of it, and then I cut up each little piece. And so you'll see I made a label for each section. This is a premium classic, which is what this is right here. And then inside are the colors that are part of the premium classic cardstock. So like ladybug, garnet, and you see the different colors. But then when I go to another section, for instance, this is the canvas. Over here, these colors are going to be different, and they also have a different finish. So if I'm looking for reds, because I didn't want to have to put canvas on each one as well as the color, I keep them in the section. So if I want to look at reds, I'm going to have to look at several different sections, maybe to find the exact shade that I want. But I wanted to show you what the canvas was like. A lot of companies call it linen, but it's got that texture on it, and it's really pretty. And then the difference between this, the linen, there are great colors in all this sets. The linen and the glimmer, which is back here, is that this has kind of a linen texture to it, but it's got a shiny aspect to it. And so it's not on the back, it's only on the one side. That's just regular cardstock. But in the manufacturing process, they've put a linen type texture and a shine for that. There's also the Swiss dot, which I haven't shown you yet, but it's kind of tone on tone dots for each color, which can be, if you don't have a die cutting machine or any way to emboss, this is a way to get some subtle embossing on your project by just buying the Swiss dot cardstock. And the classic, just different colors. And then they have a heavy cardstock that's just heavier, but it's not like the same colors as the Premium Classic, which a lot of companies may have Premium Classic and they may have it in, say, an 80 pound and 100 pound or 130 pound or something paper, so that the one is heavier depending upon your project. But these are different colors, so their heavyweight paper is different colors than what the Premium Classic is. So that was kind of a little downside about what they did. I think I would have kind of liked to have been able to have the same colors for both weights of paper, but I've got quite a ring of colors to pick from here, and so I'm going to enjoy them. I haven't used them yet to pick out, but my plan is that if I have a project and I need a 12 by 12, I do a lot of scrapbooking. If I need a 12 by 12 page, or I'm going to be making a journal where I need bigger pages in the A2 size, that I will decide what cardstock I want to work with, and then I'll just buy individual sheets from scrapbook.com. Because at this point, they don't have any packages. Maybe in the future they'll decide to do that. But this little ring allows me to just have samples. It's kind of like my husband is in construction, and so he'll get samples of like siding. He recently re-sided his sister's house because she had hail damage. And so he got samples of different colors, and he took them and showed them to her, and then she picked out the color that she liked, and then that was the siding that he ordered for her job. And so this is kind of like that. It's kind of a sample of the cardstocks for me to use in projects. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my share. Maybe it gave you some ideas or something. And it was time consuming putting it together because I only had the one little die that was that size, and so each individual cardstock had to be die cut separately. But I'm really pleased with it when I'm done, and I think it's really going to be useful for me and save me ordering pieces of cardstock that might or might not match my project. This way I can match it up before I order anything. So thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate it. And check out the hashtag Project Share Thursday. There are a lot of different projects that get shared, and I thank Mary Ellen for hosting for us. So thank you for watching.